Welcome back to Meet the Author. I'm your host, Timothy Greenwood. Today on our program, an author who has the distinction of publishing her first book just shy of her 70th birthday. Miranda and the Tiger's Eye is our topic today, and it's a fantastic book. At its debut, it had more people show up for autographs and sold more copies than had ever happened at that sort of debut at that bookstore. And with us today is the author, Sara Beacham, who I'm very proud to welcome to the program. Hi, Sara. Good to see you today.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for your introduction.
You've written a science fiction novel, 3 books for young readers, and a number of short stories, but Miranda and the Tiger's Eye is your first published work.
That's right.
Now, launching your book was, the launch was held in Houston, right?
Yes.
Is Houston where you grew up?
No, I grew up in Port Arthur, Texas. It's a small town near the coast. And then in 1978, my husband and my 3 children and I moved to Houston. And that's where I've lived ever since.
Now, did you discover your writing gift as a young person in Port Arthur or later on in Houston?
Well, I didn't really discover my writing skills until after I married. I did a lot of involved daydreaming because I didn't like school too much.
I like involved daydreaming instead of the uninvolved kind. I was there.
Well, it was very complicated daydreams, you know. It was when I finally got out of school, I realized that I could set them down on paper as short stories.
So how did you juggle your time between being a young mother and being a writer?
Well, I had insomnia when I was a young mother, and so I would get up during the night and I would write my stories at night, and I had a baby daughter, and she liked to get up at night too.
Well, especially if mom's up. Let's go play!
And so I would get her up, and I would put her in. I had a big rocking chair. It was one of these early American rocking chairs with the wide arms, and so I would put her in my left arm, and I would get a big legal-sized clipboard, and I put that in my right hand, and I would write while I was rocking her, and we rocked for miles and miles, and while I would write, and she would sit there and she would suck her fingers, and I would rock. And she was a very attentive and supportive person while I was writing my stories.
Well, you always hear about someone having a writing partner, but you think about them helping you put the words together. But
Right.
she was your partner while you were writing.
Right. And then in the daytime, well, of course, she was ready to sleep because she was awake half the night, but she was ready to sleep during the day. So I was able to type, and I typed on this huge, cast iron steam-driven Royal typewriter, and I would type while she slept during the day.
So, Sara, can you tell us a little bit more about the story about Miranda?
Miranda is a 10-year-old girl living in a high-rise apartment. She's tall for her age and precocious. She loves the History Channel. She has a vast knowledge of art, history, and science. She is creative and imaginative and can easily adapt to new situations, no matter how odd. Miranda was recently given a tiger's eye stone by her father that she believes to possess magical powers. While sitting in her window seat, the stone gets away from her and floats onto the balcony. While trying to receive the stone, Miranda falls through a crack in the balcony and lands in a tree. She jumps down from the tree and finds herself in the ambient world.
The ambient world.
Yes.
Just below your favorite balcony.
Well, the ambient world is a world that exists in and around the world we live in. And only a privileged few have been allowed to venture into this world. Most people are not aware of it. The characters in the book say to Miranda, "You're so finely dressed, you must be a princess." And so they know that she's not there to steal any of the treasure that belongs in their world. And so they're willing to talk to her and to tell her about where the tiger might live.